Welcome. Today, we're diving into the darker side of online convenience. You know, those marketplaces we all use, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace. Well, sometimes behind the cheap deals and easy connections, there's something genuinely terrifying waiting. We've gathered some truly unsettling real-life stories today. These aren't just warnings, they're first-hand accounts of encounters that went horribly wrong. Let's start with one about trying to buy maternity clothes. Seems innocent enough, right? This story comes from a husband. His wife was pregnant, expecting their first daughter, and she was looking on Craigslist. Found some maternity clothes, great price, from someone named Jenny. They arranged to meet. But on the day they were supposed to go, his wife had really bad morning sickness. Couldn't make it. So the husband asked his friend, Big Bernie, apparently a really big guy, like 6'4", to come with him just for safety. Bernie offered to drive his truck. They head out around noon. It's meant to be about a 30-minute drive, pretty standard stuff. But as they drive, things start getting weird, more desolate. They're leaving civilization behind. Eventually, they pull up to this old, really rundown farmhouse. I mean, the narrator said it was essentially the middle of nowhere, just dirt and brush for like half a mile in every direction. They both got this really bad feeling. But Bernie checked map again. Yep, this was the address Jenny gave them. So they get out of the truck, and there's this heavy-set man waiting on the porch. Not Jenny. He introduces himself, says he's the man of the house, and the first thing he asks is, "Where's your wife?" The husband explains she's sick. The man just nods and motions them inside, saying his wife has the clothes ready. And right then, the narrator says warning bells started going off. Big time. How does a place this isolated even have internet for Craigslist, let alone, reliable phone service? But they went inside anyway, and that's when it got really bad. There was a room off the hallway, some noise coming from it. They peeked in, and there were about 7 other men. Big guys, just standing there in a semicircle. The room was completely empty, no furniture, nothing. And all 7 of them turned and looked. The look on their faces, the narrator said it was a disappointment, like they expected someone else. Or maybe just the wife. He knew instantly they were in trouble, wanted to run. But that awkward social pressure. They hesitated. The main guy tells them to follow him to the kitchen for the clothes. Reluctantly, they do. He leads them into this disgusting, empty kitchen. Broken appliances, filth everywhere. Again, no sign of clothes. He just asks for the money. The husband says, yeah, but doesn't pull out his wallet. Then the man picks up this dirty rag off the counter, holds it out, and says something like, "Here you go." It was horrifyingly clear. There were never any clothes. This was a trap.
And what's striking there is the level of planning. It wasn't just a random lure. Using maternity clothes specifically, that suggests they were targeting expectant parents. Vulnerable, maybe more trusting.
Exactly. That specific detail is chilling.
And the location, the number of men, that look of disappointment.
Yeah.
It all points to a premeditated setup. They knew who they wanted.
Absolutely. So Bernie, thinking fast, makes up a lie. Says they left the money in the truck, need to go get it. They turn to leave. As they walk out the door, they see the men from inside. They're now leaning against Bernie's truck. Some are even looking through his stuff in the cab. They weren't getting away that easily. Bernie realizes they're completely outnumbered, whispers to the narrator to stay cool. Then he does something brilliant. He points to the backseat of his truck really loudly, shouting about some power tools he has back there. As the men crowd around the truck, distracted, looking for the tools, Bernie and the narrator just bolted. They darted into the nearby tree line, abandoning the truck, the tools, everything. Just ran for their lives. They ran deep into the woods, found some thick brush and hid, trying desperately to get a cell signal. Then they heard it. Shouting, screeching. The men were coming after them, hunting them. Bernie grabs a rock. The narrator grabs one too. That's all they had. But then came the sound that the narrator said made his blood curdle with unprecedented fear. It was a buzzing sound, getting louder. It was Bernie's own DeWalt power drill from the truck. The men had grabbed it, and they were coming through the woods with a power drill. His mind raced about what they planned to do with it.
That elevates the terror immensely. Taking a tool, something familiar, and turning it into a potential weapon in that context. It's psychological warfare.
Absolutely terrifying. They stayed hidden, completely silent, long after the shouting stopped, just to be sure. Eventually, they got a signal, called the police. It felt like forever, but the cops finally showed up. The farmhouse, empty. Truck's gone, men gone, Bernie's tools stolen. His van was beaten up, but luckily, still drivable. Police confirmed the building was abandoned, just an empty shell used for this. The narrator just kept saying how incredibly grateful he was that his pregnant wife wasn't there. The sound of a drill still haunts him.
That gut feeling they had initially. The desolate location, the man asking about the wife. It's crucial to listen to that instinct. Politeness often makes us override it, but in situations like these, that instinct is your best defense.
It's such a vital point. Okay, let's move to the next story. This one involves a moving job, also from Craigslist. The person telling this is a 28-year-old man, fit guy. Says he habitually carried a knife and also a sidearm for protection. He was broke, needed money for rent, bills, found this ad, moving job, $12 an hour cash, it's supposed to be 5-7 hours. And it was walking distance, seemed perfect. He emails back and forth. Seems normal at first, professional. Then, out of the blue, the poster sends a really weird message. I'm a gay man. How old are you, by the way? The narrator thought it was strange, obviously, but he kind of rationalized it away. Maybe the guy had bad experiences before, he thought, and he felt confident he could handle himself, being armed. So he decided to take the job despite the weird message. He gets to the house, described as a typical middle-class New England home, lots of antiques inside. The poster seemed totally normal, pleasant even, friendly. So he starts working, moving stuff from the basement, which he notes was, a bit creepy, like basements often are. After about an hour, he gets this feeling he's being watched. Looks up, sees the poster peering at him from around a corner. He tries to ignore it. Maybe the guy's just making sure he's not stealing anything, right? About half an hour later, the poster comes down into the basement wearing nothing but underwear and socks. Says he's just about to hop in the shower. Then starts repeating stuff he'd already told the narrator earlier, just odd behavior. A little while later, the poster calls him upstairs, says, "Come take a break, have some water."
Okay.
The narrator walks into the living room, and the poster is sitting there on the couch, completely naked, just sitting there. The narrator freezes. The poster then asks him, "Is this okay with you?" The narrator clearly states, "Look, I told you I'm straight. I'm just here to do a job." The poster immediately backtracks, apologizes profusely, covers himself up, says he didn't mean anything by it, then begs him to please finish the job, says he really needs the help. The narrator still needed the money badly, and he felt, relatively safe because he was armed. So despite feeling incredibly uncomfortable, he agreed to finish.
This is a chilling example of boundary testing. It's not random exposure. It starts with the email, then the staring, then partial undress, then full nudity. Each step gauges the victim's reaction and tolerance.
A deliberate escalation.
Exactly. The perpetrator is grooming the situation, normalizing the inappropriate, seeing how far they can push before the victim leaves or resists strongly. The victim's need for money becomes leverage.
It's deeply manipulative. So he finishes the job. All the moving is done. He goes upstairs to tell the guy he's finished. The poster says, "Okay, have a seat while I get your money." The narrator sits down, maybe scrolls on his phone for a second, and he senses the poster right next to him on the couch. He turns his head, and the man is naked again. And this time he's actively gratifying himself.
Yeah.
Right there. Then the poster reaches out, puts a hand on the narrator's shoulder, leans in close, smiles, and says something truly disturbing. He says, "Now, don't go and tell anyone what you've just seen. Okay, this is just our little secret. Nobody needs to know about it, right?"
That specific phrase, our little secret, that's language often associated with the abuse of children.
That's exactly what the narrator thought. It clicked. This wasn't just about exhibitionism. This phrasing suggested something much darker, a pattern of predatory behavior.
It's a control tactic designed to create shame, complicity, and silence the victim. It implies this isn't the first time and won't be the last.
He jumped up immediately, demanded his money, started heading for the door. The man handed over the cash, still doing what he was doing, and repeated, "Don't forget, it's our secret." The narrator just got out of there as fast as he could. But it wasn't over. Hours later, he gets an email from the guy. It read, "Thank you for what you did for me today. I feel as though we bonded and connected on a very special level. This was a wonderful day. I'll never forget. I have more work for you tomorrow. Maybe you'll learn to enjoy watching me share my private moments with you."
Wow. Just blatant disregard for the violation and an attempt to continue the contact, the harassment.
Yeah, unbelievable. The narrator, of course, never responded, just blocked him and tried to forget it. Okay, one final story for today. This one involves a fake inquiry about furniture. It happened to a female student. She was coming home late, around 11 p.m., to her really small town, only a few hundred people. She said, nobody is ever out after maybe 9 p.m. there. It's very quiet. As she's pulling up to her street, she sees a big pickup truck with a trailer attached, stopped at the light. A woman is standing outside it, talking. Already seems out of place for that time and location. She drives past, the woman gets back in the truck, and then the truck follows her, turns onto her street. It pulls partway into her next-door neighbor's driveway as she parks in her own. Her first thought was, maybe it's her new neighbors borrowing a truck. They'd only moved in recently. Seems plausible, right? She quickly gets out, goes inside her house, locks the door behind her, standard procedure. Seconds later, the doorbell rings. Her boyfriend was home, but he was way in the back of the basement, couldn't hear it. Still thinking it must be the neighbor, maybe she dropped something, she just opened the door without checking first. Without calling her boyfriend. It wasn't the neighbor, it was the woman from the truck, maybe in her 30s. And as the door opened, she saw the truck had backed out of the driveway into the street. Its lights were off now, and walking from the truck towards her house were 4 or 5 big, burly men slowly walking up her driveway. Instant red flags, stomach drops. Then the woman at the door says the line, "We're here to see those couches from Craigslist, mind if we come in?"
That's a textbook ruse entry. Using a female accomplice to lower the guard. The Craigslist couch story is just the pretext, the excuse to get the door open, the men waiting nearby. That's the real plan.
Definitely. Her instincts screamed danger. She didn't hesitate. She just said, "You've got the wrong house," slammed the door shut as hard as she could, and threw the deadbolt. Now, luckily, her boyfriend down in the basement heard her talking to someone, didn't know what was going on, but he flipped on a basement light. So from the street, it suddenly looked like more people were home and awake.
That small detail might have been crucial. Showing signs of occupancy can deter potential intruders.
Could well have been. She ran downstairs, quickly told her boyfriend what happened. They grabbed weapons, didn't specify what, and waited. The men didn't try the door again, didn't come back. She called the sheriff. They took a report, drove around, but found nothing. The truck and the people were gone. Later, she checked Craigslist herself, just as she suspected. No couches for sale anywhere near her town, nothing even close. She found out later this is apparently a known tactic. Stake out a quiet area, wait for someone, often a woman, to arrive home alone. Use the female accomplice with a plausible story to get the door open. She still doesn't know if they just wanted to rob the place or if it was something worse. She said she's just incredibly thankful her boyfriend was home, even if he was in the basement. And now, she never answers the door unless she knows exactly who it is and she's armed.
These 3 stories, they really underscore the vulnerability inherent in these online to offline interactions.
Yeah, they really do. It's not just about one bad experience. It's a pattern, right? Exploiting trust.
Exactly. You see the luring, the isolation, the boundary testing, the use of deception, all common predatory tactics adapted for the digital age.
That false sense of security online gives them an opening.
Precisely. Anonymity benefits the predator. They can craft a persona, set a trap, all before any real-world cues might give them away. We lose that immediate gut check we get from face-to-face interaction.
So what's the takeaway here for people listening? I mean, besides being thoroughly creeped out.
Vigilance is key. But it's more than just being suspicious. It's about active safety planning. Meeting in public, well-lit places is obvious, but maybe not always feasible for something like moving help.
Yeah.
Informing someone else where you're going, who you're meeting, when you expect to be back, having a check-in plan.
Yeah, letting someone track your phone even, maybe.
That's a good idea too. And trusting that gut feeling. If something feels off the location, the person's behavior, inconsistencies in their story, don't rationalize it. Leave. Your safety is more important than being polite or getting a cheap deal.
That politeness trap, it features in so many of these stories. People hesitating because they don't want to seem rude.
It's a powerful social instinct, but predators rely on it. You have the right to end an interaction that makes you feel unsafe, period.
Sobering thoughts. These stories are a stark reminder that horror isn't just in movies. It can be waiting behind a simple online ad.
It does make you think, doesn't it? How do you personally balance the convenience of the internet with the potential risks when an interaction moves offline? What steps do you take?
Something for everyone to consider. We really hope sharing these accounts has offered some valuable perspective, maybe reinforced the need for caution. If these stories resonated with you, if you found them unsettling and informative, please do us a favor. Like this video, share it with people you know, and definitely subscribe to our channel, Horror Docs. We share true stories like this regularly. Stay safe out there. Be aware. And thanks for listening.